In the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, where humanity's survival hangs by a thread, the Imperium of Man employs every resource at its disposal to maintain its iron grip on the galaxy. Among these resources are the Ogryn, towering Abhumans, whose raw strength and unwavering loyalty make them invaluable assets in the never-ending war for survival. The Ogryn, or Homo sapiens gigantus, stand as a testament to humanity's resilience and adaptability in the face of harsh environments. Evolved from human colonists who settled on high-gravity worlds during the dark age of technology, these Abhumans have become a distinct subspecies, their bodies transformed by millennia of genetic drift and environmental pressures. Towering over their unaugmented human counterparts, Ogryn are massive, muscle-bound giants, often standing 3 meters tall or more. Their thick bones and dense musculature allow them to bear the crushing weight of their home worlds with ease. This tremendous physical prowess comes at a cost, however, as their cognitive abilities have been significantly reduced, leaving most Ogryn with childlike minds and limited problem-solving skills. Despite their intellectual limitations, or perhaps because of them, Ogryn possess an unshakable loyalty to the Emperor and the Imperium. Their simple faith and devotion make them resistant to the corrupting influences of chaos, while their immense strength and durability render them formidable opponents on the battlefield. It is these qualities that have secured the Ogryn a place within the ranks of the Imperial Guard, where they serve as shock troops and close combat specialists. The story of the Ogryn is one of transformation, both physical and cultural. From the initial human settlers who braved the punishing gravity of distant worlds, to the Abhumans who now stand shoulder to shoulder with humanity's finest, the Ogryn represent both the extremes of human adaptability and the Imperium's pragmatic approach to survival. Their journey from isolated Abhumans to integrated members of the Imperial war machine is a tale of necessity, indoctrination, and the forging of unlikely bonds. The Imperium, ever practical in its pursuit of dominance, recognized the potential of these physically superior beings and set about harnessing their strength for the good of mankind. Through careful conditioning and specialized training programs, the Adeptus Ministorum and the Imperial Guard have cultivated the Ogryns' natural loyalty and simple faith into an unshakable devotion to the Emperor. This process, while effective, raises questions about the ethics of exploiting a subspecies with limited cognitive abilities for warfare. The Ogryns' role in the Imperium is not without controversy. While their combat effectiveness is beyond question, their abhuman status places them in a precarious position within Imperial society. They are valued for their strength and loyalty, yet often treated with a mixture of awe, fear, and contempt by their human comrades. This dichotomy between their usefulness and their perceived otherness creates a complex dynamic that permeates their interactions with the broader Imperium. As we delve deeper into the history and present-day role of the Ogryn, we will explore the unique challenges and advantages they bring to the Imperium's endless wars. From their origins on harsh, high-gravity worlds to their integration into the Imperial Guard, we will examine how these gentle giants have become one of the Emperor's most potent weapons against the myriad threats that assail humanity. We will also investigate the specialized equipment and tactics developed to maximize the Ogryns' effectiveness on the battlefield, as well as the individuals who have risen to prominence among their kind. Through it all, we will confront the moral and practical implications of utilizing abhumans in warfare and consider what the future may hold for these loyal servants of the Emperor. The tale of the Ogryn is more than just a story of biological adaptation or military strategy. It is a lens through which we can examine the Imperium's attitudes towards genetic diversity, the lengths to which humanity will go to ensure its survival, and the true meaning of loyalty in a universe where death is the only constant. As we embark on this exploration of the Ogryns' place in the grim darkness of the far future, we invite you to consider the cost of survival in a hostile universe and the true nature of humanity in all its varied forms. For in the story of the Ogryn, we find reflected the very essence of the Imperium itself, pragmatic, unyielding, and willing to use any means necessary to weather the storm of an uncaring cosmos. The Adeptus Militarum, also known as the Imperial Guard, stands as the primary employer and battlefield commander of Ogryn forces. This vast organization, responsible for the bulk of the Imperium's military might, has developed specialized tactics and equipment to harness the Ogryns' raw power effectively. Within the Adeptus Militarum, certain regiments have gained renown for their skilled utilization of Ogryn troops. The Catachan jungle fighters, hailing from the death world of Catachan, often work alongside Ogryns, finding their strength invaluable in dense terrain. The Armageddon Steel Legion, veterans of urban warfare, employ Ogryns as shock troops to break enemy lines in city fights. The Ordo Xenos of the Inquisition has taken a particular interest in Ogryn deployment against certain alien threats. Inquisitors have found that Ogryns' resistance to psychic manipulation makes them valuable assets in combating mind-controlling Xeno species. This has led to increased collaboration between the Ordo Xenos and regiments with high Ogryn populations. Tech priests of the Adeptus Mechanicus play a crucial role in outfitting Ogryns for war. These servants of the machine god have developed specialized weaponry and armor suited to Ogryn physiology, such as the Ripper gun and reinforced carapace armor. Their ongoing research into enhancing Ogryn combat effectiveness has produced innovations like the Bonehead augmentation procedure. The Ecclesiarchy, represented by the Adeptus Ministorum, holds significant influence over Ogryn's spiritual life. Priests and missionaries work tirelessly to instill and reinforce the Emperor's divine will in the minds of these simple abhumans. Their efforts ensure Ogryn loyalty remains unshakable, even in the face of chaos corruption. Among the Ogryns themselves, boneheads emerge as natural leaders. These individuals, having undergone neural augmentation, possess greater intelligence than their brethren. Boneheads serve as intermediaries between human officers and Ogryn squads, translating complex orders into simple directives their fellow Ogryns can understand and execute. The Departamento Munitorum, the Imperial Guard's logistics division, faces unique challenges in supporting Ogryn forces. Their quartermasters must account for the Ogryns' larger size, greater strength, and increased dietary requirements when planning supply chains and designing equipment. Commissars, the political officers of the Imperial Guard, find both opportunities and challenges in working with Ogryn units. While Ogryns' natural loyalty makes them less prone to morale issues, their limited comprehension can lead to misunderstandings of complex strategic objectives. Skilled commissars learn to communicate effectively with Ogryns, using their unwavering faith to inspire both the abhumans and nearby human troops. The Officio Medicae, responsible for the health and medical care of Imperial forces, has developed specialized protocols for treating Ogryn injuries and illnesses. Their research into Ogryn physiology has led to advancements in understanding extreme environmental adaptations in human populations. Planetary governors of worlds with significant Ogryn populations play a vital role in Ogryn recruitment and initial training. These Imperial representatives must balance the need to provide troops for the Imperial tithe with maintaining sufficient Ogryn labor forces for local industries, often leading to complex negotiations with the Adeptus Administratum. The Adeptus Administratum itself is tasked with the monumental job of tracking Ogryn populations, managing their deployment, and ensuring their integration into Imperial forces doesn't disrupt the delicate balance of abhuman acceptance within the Imperium. Veteran human soldiers who have fought alongside Ogryns often become their staunchest advocates. These battle brothers form strong bonds with their abhuman comrades, learning to appreciate their straightforward nature and uncompromising loyalty. Many such veterans go on to become instructors in Ogryn combat schools, passing on their knowledge of how to best utilize Ogryn strengths on the battlefield. Xenos races encounter Ogryns primarily on the battlefield, leading to varied reactions. Orcs, in particular, relish the challenge of facing these hulking abhumans in close combat. Eldar, conversely, tend to view Ogryns with a mixture of pity and disdain, seeing them as yet another example of humanity's barbaric nature. The forces of chaos, ever opportunistic, have made numerous attempts to corrupt Ogryn populations. While largely unsuccessful due to the Ogryns' simple faith and loyalty, there have been rare instances of Ogryn falling to chaos, creating formidable enemies that combine immense physical power with demonic gifts. Rogue traders operating on the fringes of Imperial space occasionally employ Ogryn bodyguards or laborers. These enterprising individuals value the Ogryn's strength and loyalty, finding them particularly useful in dealings with hostile alien races or in exploring dangerous high-gravity worlds. Within the Adeptus Astra Telepathica, some sanctioned psychers have developed techniques to enhance communication with Ogryns, using their psychic abilities to bridge the gap in cognitive understanding. This has led to more effective integration of Ogryn units in complex military operations. The Navis Nobilitae, the navigator houses responsible for guiding ships through the warp, have little direct interaction with Ogryns. However, their role in transporting Ogryn units across vast interstellar distances is crucial to the Imperium's ability to deploy these living weapons where they are most needed. Lastly, the common citizens of the Imperium form the backdrop against which the Ogryn story unfolds. Their reactions to these abhumans range from awe and gratitude to fear and prejudice, reflecting the complex relationship between baseline humanity and its divergent cousins in the grim darkness of the far future. Humanity's expansion across the stars during the Dark Age of technology set the stage for the emergence of the Ogryn subspecies. As colonies were established on worlds with varied environments, the seeds of genetic divergence were sown. High-gravity planets, in particular, exerted extreme selective pressures on human settlers, initiating a rapid evolutionary process. These harsh environments demanded physical adaptations for survival. Over generations, colonists on high-gravity worlds developed denser bones, more robust musculature, and larger overall body sizes to cope with the crushing gravitational forces. However, these physical enhancements came at a cost to cognitive development as the body prioritized resources for survival in the punishing conditions. The isolation of these colonies during the Age of Strife accelerated the genetic drift. Cut off from Terra and left to fend for themselves, the inhabitants of these worlds continued to evolve in response to their environment. The breakdown of advanced technology further pushed these isolated communities towards reliance on physical strength and endurance. As the Imperium of Man re-established contact with these lost colonies during the Great Crusade, they encountered the drastically altered descendants of the original settlers. The Imperium's leadership, pragmatic in their approach to reunifying humanity, recognized the potential military applications of these physically superior beings. The classification of Ogryns as abhumans rather than mutants was a crucial decision that allowed for their integration into Imperial society. This designation, while still marking them as distinct from baseline humans, provided a level of acceptance and a defined role within the Imperium's rigid structure. The Adeptus Mechanicus played a pivotal role in studying Ogryn physiology and psychology. Their findings informed the development of specialized equipment and training regimens tailored to Ogryn capabilities. The Mechanicus' involvement lent scientific legitimacy to the Ogryns' place within the Imperium, framing their existence as a successful adaptation of the human form to extreme environments. The Imperial Guard's constant need for manpower in its never-ending wars created an ideal niche for Ogryn forces. Their immense strength and durability made them valuable assets in close-quarter combat and siege warfare. The Guard's willingness to employ Abhumans set a precedent for Ogryn acceptance in other Imperial institutions. The Ecclesiarchy's approach to the spiritual needs of Ogryns shaped their integration into Imperial culture. Recognizing the Ogryns' simple, loyal nature, the priests of the Adeptus Ministorum developed straightforward, emotionally resonant teachings that appealed to the Abhumans' limited cognitive abilities while reinforcing their devotion to the Emperor. Early successes in deploying Ogryn units alongside regular Imperial forces demonstrated their effectiveness on the battlefield. These victories helped overcome initial skepticism and prejudice among some elements of the Imperial military hierarchy, paving the way for wider acceptance and utilization of Ogryn troops. The development of the bonehead augmentation procedure marked a significant milestone in Ogryn integration. By enhancing the intelligence of select Ogryns, the Imperium created a bridge between human commanders and Ogryn units, greatly improving their tactical flexibility and combat effectiveness. The increasing threats faced by the Imperium, from Orc Wag to Tyrannid hive fleets, necessitated the full utilization of all available resources. The Ogryns' resistance to psychic manipulation made them particularly valuable against certain Xeno species, further cementing their place in the Imperial war machine. Political maneuvering within the Imperium played a role in the acceptance of Ogryns. Certain factions saw the promotion of Abhuman troops as a way to advance their own agendas, whether by demonstrating their pragmatism or by gaining control over a powerful military asset. The Imperium's experimentation with other forms of enhanced humans, such as the Adeptus Astartes, created a precedent for accepting modified human forms. While Space Marines represent a pinnacle of human enhancement, Ogryns came to be seen as a naturally occurring variation that could be harnessed for the Emperor's will. The longevity of Ogryn service to the Imperium gradually built a tradition of loyalty and sacrifice. Over time, stories of Ogryn heroism in battle became part of Imperial legend, helping to soften attitudes towards these abhumans among the general population. The practical benefits of Ogryn labor in certain industries, particularly in high-gravity environments, provided an economic incentive for their acceptance. Many Imperial worlds came to rely on Ogryn workers for tasks that were too physically demanding for unaugmented humans. The Imperium's xenophobic stance towards non-human species paradoxically worked in favor of Ogryn acceptance. As abhumans, Ogryns were still considered part of the human species, making them a more palatable option for military service than potential alliances with Xenos races. The development of specialized Ogryn units, such as Bullgryns, demonstrated the Imperium's commitment to maximizing the potential of these abhumans. These elite formations showed that Ogryns could be more than just brute force, capable of adapting to specific tactical roles when properly equipped and trained. The Horus Heresy and its aftermath heightened the Imperium's paranoia regarding loyalty and corruption. The Ogryns' steadfast devotion to the Emperor, even in the face of Chaos influence, made them increasingly valued in a galaxy where treachery could lurk in any heart. As the Imperium's borders expanded, the discovery of more high-gravity worlds with Ogryn-like populations reinforced the view that these abhumans were a natural and inevitable outcome of human colonization. This helped normalize their existence within the broader context of human diversity in the galaxy. The ongoing need for Imperial propaganda to maintain morale and unity provided an opportunity to portray Ogryns in a positive light. Images of loyal Ogryn soldiers fighting alongside human troops became a common theme, emphasizing the idea of unity in diversity within the Imperium. The evolution of Ogryns spans millennia, marked by key events that shaped their role in the Imperium. During the Dark Age of technology, humanity's expansion led to the colonization of high-gravity worlds. These harsh environments triggered rapid genetic adaptation among settlers, laying the foundation for the Ogryn subspecies. As the Age of Strife descended upon the galaxy, many colonies lost contact with Terra. Isolated on their punishing worlds, the Proto-Ogryn populations continued to evolve, their bodies growing larger and stronger while their cognitive abilities diminished. This period of separation lasted for thousands of years, solidifying the distinct Ogryn phenotype. The Great Crusade marked the Imperium's first encounters with fully developed Ogryn societies. Initial contact often led to conflict, as many Ogryn worlds had regressed to primitive states. However, Imperial commanders quickly recognized the potential of these powerful Abhumans. Early attempts to integrate Ogryns into Imperial forces met with mixed results. Their immense strength proved valuable in combat, but their limited intelligence posed challenges in training and deployment. This led to the development of specialized Ogryn units and tactics. The Horus Heresy presented a crucial test for Ogryn loyalty. While some were swayed by the War Master's rebellion, the majority remained steadfast in their devotion to the Emperor. This unwavering loyalty amid widespread betrayal significantly elevated the Ogryns' standing within the Imperium. In the aftermath of the heresy, the Imperium implemented new protocols for Abhuman integration. The Adeptus Mechanicus intensified its study of Ogryn physiology, seeking ways to enhance their combat effectiveness without compromising their loyalty. The creation of the Bone-Ed augmentation procedure marked a significant milestone. This process, which enhanced the intelligence of select Ogryns, dramatically improved their ability to lead their fellow Abhumans and interface with human commanders. As the Imperium entered a period of rebuilding and consolidation, Ogryn labor became increasingly valued. Their strength and endurance proved invaluable in the reconstruction of war-torn worlds and the establishment of new colonies on hostile planets. The Gothic War saw extensive deployment of Ogryn shock troops against the forces of chaos. Their performance in void-based boarding actions and planetary assaults further cemented their reputation as elite close combat specialists. The rise of the Tyranid threat brought new challenges and opportunities for Ogryn forces. Their physical resilience and resistance to psychic manipulation made them effective shock troops against the Xeno swarms. Specialized Ogryn units were developed to combat specific Tyranid bioforms. The Damocles Gulf Crusade against the Tau Empire showcased the Ogryns' effectiveness against a technologically superior foe. Their ability to weather heavy fire and close with the enemy proved crucial in overcoming the Tau's advanced weaponry. The development of the Bullgryn variant represented a leap forward in Ogryn combat capabilities. These heavily armored troops equipped with massive shield guns became prized assets in urban and siege warfare. The onset of the Plague Wars saw Ogryn forces playing a vital role in containing Nurgle's corruption. Their natural resistance to disease, combined with their loyalty, made them ideal troops for quarantine enforcement and plague zone clearance. The Indomitus Crusade utilized Ogryn units extensively in its efforts to reunite the fragmented Imperium. Their strength proved invaluable in breaking through enemy lines and establishing beachheads on contested worlds. The discovery of several lost Ogryn worlds during the Crusade led to a surge in Ogryn recruitment. These populations, having evolved in isolation for millennia, displayed unique adaptations that further diversified the Ogryn gene pool. The emergence of the Cicatrix Maledictum posed new challenges for Ogryn deployment. Their resistance to warp influence made them valuable assets in the chaotic regions bordering the Great Rift, leading to increased demand for Ogryn forces. Recent conflicts have seen experimental pairings of Ogryn units with Primaris Space Marines. While still in early stages, these combined operations have shown promise in leveraging the strengths of both enhanced human types. The development of new Ogryn pattern weapons by the Adeptus Mechanicus has further increased their combat effectiveness. Innovations like the Tormentor grenade launcher have given Ogryn troops greater tactical flexibility on the battlefield. Ongoing research into Ogryn genetics has yielded insights into extreme environmental adaptation. This knowledge is being cautiously applied to other areas of Imperial science, including the development of enhanced colonization techniques for hostile worlds. The formation of specialized Ogryn regiments, drawing from populations across multiple worlds, has created new traditions and unit cultures. These regiments have developed unique combat doctrines, blending the various evolutionary adaptations of their diverse members. Recent decades have seen increased efforts to improve Ogryn literacy and basic education. While controversial, proponents argue that even marginally increasing Ogryn cognitive abilities could yield significant tactical benefits. The current era has witnessed a growing appreciation for Ogryn cultural contributions. Imperial scholars have begun documenting Ogryn oral traditions, artwork, and crafts, recognizing them as unique expressions of Abhuman heritage within the Imperium. As new threats emerge and old ones evolve, the role of Ogryns in Imperial defense continues to adapt. Their unbreakable loyalty and formidable strength remain constants in the ever-changing landscape of galactic warfare, ensuring their place as valued, if misunderstood, defenders of humanity. The Battle of Crastus Prime marked a pivotal moment in Ogryn history, reshaping Imperial perception and utilization of these abhumans. This conflict, part of a larger campaign against a chaos incursion in the Segmentum Obscurus, saw an unprecedented deployment of Ogryn forces in both scale and strategic importance. Crastus Prime, a forge world vital to sector-wide production, faced annihilation at the hands of a massive chaos warband. The planet's defenses, despite their technological superiority, crumbled under the relentless assault. With reinforcements days away and defeat imminent, the local Mechanicus leaders made a desperate gambit. They diverted all available transport to nearby Ogryn-populated worlds, hastily conscripting thousands of these abhumans. This unorthodox strategy, born of desperation, would prove revolutionary. Within hours, dropships filled with Ogryn shock troops descended upon Crastus Prime's embattled hive cities. The initial impact was chaos. Untrained and barely equipped, the Ogryn forces seemed more liability than asset. However, as the battle progressed, their innate resilience and loyalty began to turn the tide. Where sophisticated battle automata had failed, the sheer physical presence of the Ogryns held the line. A young tech marine, Magos Ferrum Maximus, recognized the untapped potential before him. In a bold move, he interfaced directly with the Ogryn troops, using Neuralink technology typically reserved for machine spirit communion. This unprecedented melding of abhuman brawn and Mechanicus precision yielded staggering results. Under Maximus's guidance, Ogryn units began operating with a level of tactical acumen never before seen. They instinctively maneuvered to protect vital systems, executed complex flanking maneuvers, and even operated Mechanicus war machines with surprising efficacy. The turning point came during the siege of Manufactorum Primaris. Chaos forces, led by a fearsome demon prince, breached the outer defenses. As all seemed lost, a cadre of Ogryns, their bodies adorned with hastily applied bionics, countercharged. The ensuing melee was nothing short of legendary. Witnesses describe Ogryns wielding power fists with devastating effect, their augmented strength amplified by Mechanicus enhancements. The Demon Prince, for all its warp-granted might, found itself overwhelmed by the sheer physical power and unflinching resolve of the Ogryn assault. As the battle raged, an unexpected phenomenon occurred. The combined faith and loyalty of the Ogryn force created a localized suppression of warp energies. This blank zone nullified many of the Chaos Force's demonic advantages, turning the tide decisively in the Imperium's favor. In the aftermath, the implications of Crastus Prime reverberated throughout Imperial High Command. The Adeptus Mechanicus, traditionally conservative in their approach to human enhancement, began re-evaluating their stance on abhuman augmentation. Research into Ogryn-compatible bionics accelerated, promising new frontiers in melding flesh and machine. The Ecclesiarchy, initially wary of potential heresy, found in the Ogryns' faith-driven victory a powerful narrative. Preachers across the Imperium began incorporating tales of Ogryn heroism into their sermons, elevating these abhumans in the public consciousness. Military strategists pored over battle logs, developing new doctrines that leveraged Ogryn strengths more effectively. The concept of Ogryn human integrated units gained traction, with several elite regiments adopting the model pioneered at Crastus Prime. Perhaps most significantly, the battle challenged long-held assumptions about abhuman cognitive limitations. The success of the Neuralink experiment opened new avenues for enhancing Ogryn intelligence without compromising their loyalty or physical prowess. In the years following Crastus Prime, a marked shift occurred in Ogryn recruitment and training. The ad hoc methods born of desperation evolved into formalized programs. Ogryn worlds saw the establishment of specialized academies, blending physical conditioning with basic tactical education. The Crastus pattern of Ogryn enhancement became a subject of intense study and replication attempts. While the exact circumstances proved difficult to recreate, the underlying principles led to significant advancements in abhuman augmentation technology. Politically, the battle's outcome strengthened the position of abhuman advocates within the Imperium. Calls for greater Ogryn rights and representation gained momentum, though progress remained slow in the face of entrenched prejudices. Inquisitorial interest in the events at Crastus Prime intensified. The demonstrated warp suppression effect of massed Ogryn presence sparked numerous classified research initiatives seeking to weaponize this phenomenon against demonic incursions. In military circles, the term Crastus Gambit entered common parlance, referring to high-risk, high-reward strategies involving unconventional use of available forces. This shift in tactical thinking rippled through Imperial command structures, encouraging more adaptive and resourceful approaches to warfare. The Adeptus Astartes, long standoffish towards abhuman auxiliary forces, began re-evaluating their stance. Several chapters initiated programs to assess the viability of Ogryn support units, particularly for void warfare and planetary assault operations. On Crastus Prime itself, a new tradition emerged. Each year, on the anniversary of the battle, Ogryn pilgrims from across the sector gathered to reenact the charge that turned the tide. This ceremony, part military exercise and part religious festival, has become a cultural touchstone for Ogryn communities. The broader Imperial population's perception of Ogryns underwent a subtle but significant shift. While prejudice remained, stories of Ogryn heroism at Crastus Prime entered popular culture. Works of art, from monumental statues to common hab-block murals, began depicting Ogryns in a more noble light. In the century since, the miracle of Crastus Prime has become a cornerstone of Imperial propaganda, particularly in regions with high abhuman populations. It stands as a testament to the Imperium's strength through diversity and the unexpected ways in which humanity's varied forms can turn the tide against the encroaching darkness. The integration of Ogryns into the Imperial war machine sparked a cascade of changes across military, social, and technological spheres. Tactically, their increased presence in frontline combat roles necessitated a reimagining of squad formations and battle strategies. Commanders learned to leverage Ogryn's strength in breaching operations, using them to spearhead assaults on fortified positions where traditional troops would falter. This shift in deployment patterns led to the development of specialized equipment. The Adeptus Mechanicus, recognizing the unique requirements of Ogryn physiology, designed robust weapons and armor tailored to their massive frames. The iconic Ripper gun emerged from this initiative, a weapon whose simplicity of use belied its devastating effectiveness in Ogryn hands. Logistically, the increased reliance on Ogryn troops presented new challenges. Their prodigious appetites and larger-than-average size required significant adjustments to supply chains. Transport vessels underwent retrofitting to accommodate Ogryn passengers, while battlefield rations saw reformulation to meet their caloric needs. The ecclesiarchy found in the Ogryns a fertile ground for spiritual cultivation. Their straightforward nature and inherent loyalty made them receptive to simplified versions of imperial doctrine. This led to the creation of specialized missionary units dedicated to Ogryn spiritual education, fostering a deep-seated faith that further cemented their allegiance to the emperor. Socially, the more prominent role of Ogryns in imperial defense gradually shifted public perception. While prejudice persisted in many quarters, a growing appreciation for Ogryn sacrifices began to take root. Imperial propaganda capitalized on this, portraying Ogryns as noble giants standing stalwart against the enemies of mankind. This evolving narrative had unforeseen consequences in some sectors. A handful of Imperial worlds with significant Ogryn populations saw the emergence of political movements advocating for greater Abhuman rights. While mostly suppressed, these stirrings hinted at the complex societal changes brewing beneath the surface. Scientifically, the study of Ogryn genetics yielded insights into human adaptation to extreme environments. Magos biologists of the Adeptus Mechanicus applied these findings to colonization efforts on high-gravity worlds, developing protocols to enhance human settlers' survival rates. The success of Ogryn units against certain Xenos threats, particularly those with psychic capabilities, led to increased demand for their presence in specific campaigns. This strategic deployment pattern inadvertently resulted in Ogryns gaining a wealth of experience in combating a diverse array of alien foes. In response to this accumulated knowledge, the Ordo Xenos initiated programs to systematically debrief veteran Ogryn troops. Despite the challenges in communication, these efforts uncovered valuable tactical insights, contributing to the refinement of anti-Xenos combat doctrines. The Adeptus Astartes, traditionally aloof from Abhuman affairs, found themselves reassessing the potential of Ogryn auxiliaries. Several chapters began experimenting with joint operations, particularly in siege warfare scenarios where Ogryn's strength complemented Astartes' precision. This collaboration led to unexpected advancements in power armor technology. Attempts to create Ogryn-compatible power suits, while largely unsuccessful, produced innovations in joint articulation and power distribution that found applications in Terminator armor upgrades. The increased intermingling of Ogryn and human troops fostered new forms of battlefield camaraderie. Veterans of mixed units often spoke of the unshakable loyalty of their Ogryn comrades, leading to a gradual erosion of anti-Abhuman sentiments within the ranks of the Imperial Guard. This shift in attitude trickled up the command structure, influencing strategic thinking at higher levels. Forward-thinking Lord Generals began incorporating Ogryn capabilities into their long-term campaign planning, viewing them not as mere shock troops, but as integral components of a diversified fighting force. The Officio Medicae, tasked with maintaining the health of Imperial forces, expanded its research into Ogryn physiology. This led to breakthroughs in trauma treatment and organ regeneration, with applications that extended to baseline human medicine. In the realm of Imperial intelligence, the Inquisition found an unexpected asset in Ogryn operatives. Their resistance to psychic manipulation and innate loyalty made them valuable in scenarios where the risk of corruption was high. While lacking in subtlety, Ogryn agents proved effective in certain types of covert operations. The Adeptus Arbites, noting the Ogryn's success in military policing roles, began recruiting them for law enforcement duties on particularly unruly worlds. Their imposing presence and unwavering adherence to orders made them effective in riot control and maintaining order in the most chaotic underhives. Economically, the increased prominence of Ogryns had ripple effects across various industries. Manufacturers specializing in oversized equipment saw a boom in demand, while agricultural sectors on Ogryn-heavy worlds ramped up production to meet their nutritional needs. In the field of Imperial education, debates arose regarding the potential for enhancing Ogryn cognitive abilities. While some argued for aggressive mental augmentation programs, others cautioned that such efforts might compromise the very traits that made Ogryns valuable assets. The Adeptus Mechanicus's experiments with Ogryn machine interfaces opened new avenues in cybernetic research. The robust nature of Ogryn physiology allowed for more invasive augmentations, pushing the boundaries of what was possible in melding flesh and machine. Culturally, the growing Ogryn presence in Imperial life led to subtle shifts in artistic expression. Sculptors began incorporating Ogryn forms into monument designs, while Imperial poets found in the Ogryn's simple loyalty a poignant metaphor for unwavering faith. In the realm of Imperial governance, the The management of Ogryn majority worlds presented unique challenges. The Adeptus Administratum developed specialized protocols for these populations, balancing the need for effective rule with accommodations for Ogryn cognitive limitations. The increased mixing of Ogryn and human populations on some worlds led to concerns about genetic dilution. This sparked contentious debates among Imperial geneticists about the long-term implications for human evolution in the face of abhuman integration. As Ogryns became more commonplace in various Imperial institutions, efforts to improve interspecies communication intensified. Linguists and cognitators worked to develop simplified language protocols, bridging the gap between Ogryn speech patterns and standard Low Gothic. The Ripper gun stands as a testament to Adeptus Mechanicus' ingenuity in Ogryn-specific weaponry. This robust shotgun-like weapon features an oversized design and simplified controls, allowing Ogryns to unleash devastating short-range firepower. Its drum magazine and sturdy construction ensure reliability in the chaos of close-quarters combat, while its bayonet attachment leverages Ogryn's strength in melee engagements. Bullgryn mauls represent an evolution in Ogryn close combat weaponry. These massive powered bludgeons amplify the already formidable strength of Ogryn troops, enabling them to crack open armored vehicles and pulverize heavily fortified structures. The psychological impact of Bullgryns wielding these weapons often proves as effective as their physical damage, sowing terror among enemy ranks. The development of slab shields marked a significant advancement in Ogryn defensive capabilities. These massive ceramite-reinforced barriers provide mobile cover for advancing troops, allowing Ogryns to fulfill a unique battlefield role as living fortifications. In urban warfare scenarios, formations of slab shield-equipped Ogryns create impromptu strongpoints, anchoring Imperial defensive lines. Ogryn bonehead augmentation procedures push the boundaries of neural enhancement. Utilizing a combination of cybernetic implants and chemical treatments, this process elevates select Ogryns to leadership roles. The augmented intelligence of boneheads bridges the gap between human officers and Ogryn units, dramatically improving tactical coordination and battlefield adaptability. The XXL pattern carapace armor exemplifies the Imperium's efforts to balance protection with mobility for Ogryn troops. Crafted from reinforced ceramite plates sized for Ogryn physiology, this armor withstands punishment that would cripple standard infantry. Its modular design allows for quick field repairs, crucial for maintaining Ogryn combat effectiveness in protracted engagements. Munitorum War Dog training programs revolutionized Ogryn battlefield roles. By pairing Ogryns with specially bred canines, Imperial forces created highly effective search and destroy teams. These war dogs, augmented with basic bionics, act as living target acquisition systems, compensating for Ogryn sensory limitations and enhancing their effectiveness in complex urban environments. The development of Ogryn pattern voxcasters addressed communication challenges inherent in Ogryn deployment. These ruggedized devices feature simplified interfaces and enhanced audio output, ensuring clear transmission of orders even in the din of battle. Integration of basic machine spirits allows for some autonomous operation, reducing the cognitive load on Ogryn operators. Specialized drop pods, dubbed Ogryn hammers, enable precision deployment of Ogryn shock troops. These reinforced vessels accommodate the mass and bulk of Ogryn squads, allowing for devastating surprise assaults deep behind enemy lines. The psychological impact of these massive pods crashing into the battlefield often proves as disruptive as the Ogryns they deliver. The Fragstorm grenade launcher adapts area denial weaponry to Ogryn use. Its simple lever action mechanism allows for rapid fire of frag grenades, saturating target areas with explosive force. When employed by Ogryn squads, these weapons create devastating kill zones, particularly effective against massed infantry or light vehicle concentrations. Ogryn Berserker stims represent a controversial advancement in combat enhancement. These powerful chemical cocktails temporarily boost Ogryn's strength and pain tolerance to superhuman levels. While devastatingly effective, concerns about long-term physiological damage and battlefield control issues limit their deployment to extreme circumstances. The Mech Fist, a crude yet effective bionic augmentation, replaces an Ogryn's hand with a hydraulic crushing mechanism. This enhancement allows Ogryns to literally tear apart light vehicles and bunker fortifications. The sight of Mech Fist-equipped Ogryns charging enemy lines often triggers mass panic, breaking enemy morale before physical contact is even made. Tactical developments like the Ogryn Anvil formation leverage the unique attributes of these abhumans. This strategy involves creating a wall of slab shield-bearing Ogryns to absorb enemy fire, allowing more maneuverable forces to flank and destroy pinned opponents. The Anvil's effectiveness against both ranged and melee-focused enemies makes it a versatile addition to Imperial tactical doctrine. The Thunderbolt Strike tactic combines drop pod insertion with Ogryn shock assault capabilities. Multiple Ogryn hammer pods coordinate their landings to form instant, fortified positions in enemy territory. This approach proves particularly effective in capturing and holding strategic objectives until conventional forces can reinforce. Ogryns excel in breacher roles, spearheading assaults on fortified positions. Equipped with demolition charges and Bullgryn mauls, these units smash through enemy defenses, creating openings for following troops. Their natural resilience allows them to withstand defensive fire that would decimate standard infantry units. The living battering ram technique employs teams of Ogryns in void shipboarding actions. Using their massive bulk and strength, Ogryns literally tear through bulkheads and airlocks, bypassing standard defensive measures. This tactic proves especially effective against Xenos vessels unfamiliar with the raw physical power of Ogryn assault teams. Ogryn anchor deployments utilize the Abhuman's loyalty and stubbornness to reinforce wavering battle lines. Positioning Ogryn units at critical junctures prevents rout and provides rally points for retreating troops. The psychological boost of fighting alongside these unwavering giants often stiffens the resolve of human soldiers. The false flag maneuver exploits enemy underestimation of Ogryn intelligence. Ogryn units deliberately act as conspicuous distractions, drawing enemy attention and fire while more subtle forces move into position. This tactic's success rate has increased significantly since the introduction of bonehead augmentations, allowing for more convincing performances. The Ogryns find a natural role in zone mortalis engagements, excelling in the cramped confines of space hulks and dense urban ruins. Their strength allows for rapid clearance of debris and barricades, while their bulk provides mobile cover for accompanying specialists. In these environments, Ogryn-led teams often outperform more conventionally equipped units. The walking tank strategy employs heavily armored Ogryns as mobile weapons platforms. Equipped with back-mounted heavy weapons typically reserved for fixed emplacements, these Ogryns provide unparalleled mobile fire support. This approach proves particularly effective in fluid battlefield situations where traditional heavy weapons teams struggle to reposition. Ogryn crowd control techniques have found application beyond the battlefield, utilized by planetary law enforcement in managing urban unrest. The imposing presence of Ogryn peacekeepers, combined with their simplified approach to following orders, often diffuses tense situations without resorting to lethal force. The development of Ogryn-specific field medical procedures addresses the unique challenges of treating these abhumans. Specialized trauma kits and reinforced medical equipment allow for effective battlefield care, crucial for maintaining Ogryn combat strength in prolonged engagements. Nork Deadog stands as a paragon of Ogryn loyalty and combat prowess. Serving as a bodyguard to Colonel Grice of the Catachan 2nd Regiment, Nork's exploits have become legendary throughout the Imperium. His unparalleled strength, combined with an unusually sharp mind for an Ogryn, allowed him to perform feats that would be impossible for most of his kind. Nork's crowning achievement came during the Siege of Andraxis, where he single-handedly held a breach in the city's walls for hours, allowing Imperial forces to regroup and ultimately repel the Orc invasion. Gorg the Miraculous earned his moniker during the Drusian Crusade. An Ogryn of prodigious size even among his own kind, Gorg survived direct hits from Tau railguns on 3 separate occasions. His seemingly supernatural resilience inspired nearby Imperial guardsmen, turning the tide of several key battles. Ecclesiarchy scholars debate whether Gorg's survival was due to pure physicality or divine intervention, with some even suggesting his canonization. The infamous Grook face Rippa represents the dark potential of Ogryn physiology in the hands of chaos. Once a loyal Imperial servant, Grook fell to the corrupting influence of Khorne during the Holocaust Blood Crusade. His already formidable strength enhanced by demonic gifts, Grook became a terrifying engine of destruction. Imperial records indicate he personally destroyed over a dozen Leman Russ tanks with his bare hands before a concerted effort by an entire Tempestus Scion regiment finally brought him down. Magos Biologus Ferrum. Maximus gained renown for his groundbreaking work on Ogryn enhancement. His neural augmentation techniques formed the basis of the modern bonehead procedure. However, Maximus's zeal for pushing the boundaries of abhuman potential led him down a dark path. His later experiments, involving the fusion of Ogryn physiology with prohibited Xenos biotechnology, resulted in his excommunication from the Adeptus Mechanicus and subsequent classification as Hereticus Extremis. The Ogryn, known as Lucky Thump, became an unlikely hero during the defense of Cadia. Originally assigned to menial labor duties due to his even lower-than-average intelligence, Thump stumbled into a critical role when a surprise chaos attack breached the command bunker he was cleaning. Using his mop as an impromptu weapon, Thump managed to hold off the attackers long enough for reinforcements to arrive, saving several high-ranking Imperial officers. His actions earned him the rare honor of a battlefield promotion to bonehead status. Inquisitor Vale's Ogryn bodyguard, Jurgen, gained notoriety not just for his steadfast service, but for his unique psychic null abilities. His presence proved invaluable in countless engagements against warp-tainted foes. Jurgen's combination of Ogryn physicality and psycho-negating aura made him one of the most effective agents in the Inquisition's arsenal, despite his humble demeanor and questionable hygiene. The tragic figure of Gorblood the Enlightened serves as a cautionary tale in Ogryn lore. An experimental procedure intended to dramatically increase Ogryn intelligence succeeded beyond its creator's wildest expectations with Gorblood. However, his newfound cognitive abilities led to an existential crisis as he grappled with the realities of his existence and role within the Imperium. Gorblood's subsequent actions, viewed as heretical by Imperial authorities, led to his elimination and the termination of the enhancement program. Krug the Unbreakable earned his place in Imperial history during the century-long siege of Nemesis Tessera. As the planet's defenses crumbled under relentless Necron assault, Krug's unwavering stand at the Gate of Martyrs became a rallying point for the beleaguered defenders. For over a year, Krug held his position, his slab shield becoming a literal cornerstone of the Imperial defense line. Even after sustaining injuries that would have killed a normal human dozens of times over, Krug refused to yield. His eventual death, crushed beneath the collapsing gate he had defended so long, was mourned across the sector. The villainous Ogryn war boss Gugrog Bone Eater presents a chilling example of Orc culture's influence on captured Ogryns. Taken as a youth during a massive Orc war, Gugrog not only survived but thrived among the greenskins. His size and strength, impressive even by Orc standards, saw him rise through the ranks. Gugrog's unique blend of Ogryn resilience and Orky Kunin has made him a terrifying force on the battlefield, leading bands of Orc-worshipping Ogryn renegades in brutal raids across the Ultima Segmentum. Sergeant Hruk Stone Fist of the Catechin 7th gained fame for his unorthodox but effective leadership style. Despite being a bonehead, Hruk eschewed complex tactics in favor of leading by example. His preferred strategy involved charging headlong at the biggest, meanest enemy he could see, inspiring his fellow Ogryns and human comrades alike with his fearless assaults. Hruk's most celebrated moment came during the purging of Caligon's Reach, where he engaged and defeated a Tyranid hive tyrant in single combat, breaking the Synapse control over a significant portion of the Xeno swarm. The enigmatic figure, known only as the Ogryn Savant, represents one of the Imperium's most closely guarded secrets. The result of a centuries-long project combining Ogryn physiology with arcane psycho-indoctrination techniques, the Savant possesses both prodigious intellect and incredible physical might. Deployed only in the most dire circumstances, the Savant's true nature and capabilities remain classified at the highest levels. Rumors persist of entire campaigns won through the Savant's strategic insights and battlefield prowess, though official records of such events are conspicuously absent. Gargath the Exile stands as a controversial figure in recent Imperial history. Once a decorated veteran of countless campaigns, Gargath's disillusionment with the Imperium's treatment of his kind led him to rebel. Escaping with a sizable contingent of fellow Ogryns, Gargath established an independent enclave on a remote world. While labeled a traitor by Imperial authorities, reports suggest Gargath's community continues to fight against Xenos and Chaos incursions, maintaining a complex relationship with nearby Imperial worlds. The tale of Oguk the Penitent serves as a powerful story of redemption in Imperial propaganda. Formerly a member of a Chaos warband, Oguk broke free from his corrupt masters during a moment of clarity in battle. His subsequent actions, turning against his former allies and single-handedly holding a vital checkpoint for Imperial reinforcements, earned him a rare pardon. Oguk's later years were spent as a living example of the Emperor's mercy, his presence bolstering the faith of both Ogryn and human Imperial servants. Tech priestess Synthedia gained both acclaim and notoriety for her work on the Ogryn Augmentation Project. Her innovations in bionic enhancements compatible with Ogryn physiology pushed the boundaries of the Adeptus Mechanicus's doctrines. The juggernauts produced by her program, Ogryns with extensive cybernetic enhancements, proved to be devastatingly effective in combat. However, concerns about the project's alignment with the Emperor's vision of humanity led to its eventual shutdown, with Synthedia reassigned to a remote Forge world. The legendary Ogryn known as Old One-Eye became a symbol of endurance during the century-long trench wars of Mortressa. Despite sustaining grievous injuries that cost him an eye early in the conflict, One-Eye refused evacuation. Over the decades of grinding warfare, he became a fixture of the Imperial lines, his scarred visage and unwavering resolve inspiring generations of soldiers. By the war's end, One-Eye had outlasted virtually every other combatant, his vast experience making him an invaluable, if unlikely, advisor to the campaign's final push. The Ogryn Null phenomenon remains one of the most perplexing mysteries surrounding these abhumans. Scattered reports across millennia describe instances where large gatherings of Ogryns have inexplicably nullified psychic phenomena in their vicinity. Unlike the defined anti-psyker field of a Culexus assassin, this effect appears sporadic and unpredictable. Inquisitorial investigations have yet to determine whether this is a natural defense mechanism evolved on high-gravity worlds or an unintended consequence of the Ogryns' simplified mental processes. Whispers persist of a lost Ogryn home world, where the inhabitants developed a complex society rivaling that of baseline humans. Designated in fragmented records as Intelliga Prime, this fabled planet's location has been lost to time. Expeditions mounted by both the Adeptus Mechanicus and rogue traders have failed to substantiate its existence. Some scholars posit that tales of Intelliga Prime are merely a misinterpretation of historical accounts of early bonehead experiments. The Catachan green giants present a biological puzzle that continues to baffle Imperial geneticists. These Ogryns, native to the death world of Catachan, exhibit unique traits unseen in other Ogryn populations. Their green-tinged skin and enhanced toxin resistance suggest an adaptive response to Katakin's lethal ecosystem. However, the speed at which these traits developed defies conventional understanding of human evolution, leading to theories of xenos interference or undocumented genetic engineering in the planet's distant past. An enduring enigma among the Adeptus Mechanicus concerns the Ogryn Affinity Protocol. Certain machine spirits, particularly those in ancient war machines, display inexplicable preferences for Ogryn operators. Instances of Titans tolerating Ogryn crew members while rejecting trained human pilots have been recorded. This phenomenon has led some tech priests to speculate on a possible connection between Ogryn neural structures and archaic machine interface designs. The legend of the Ogryn Whisperers persists in Imperial Guard folklore. These mythical individuals supposedly possess the ability to communicate complex strategies to Ogryn units through a form of subliminal suggestion. While officially dismissed as superstition, some commissars quietly seek out soldiers rumored to have this talent, especially when preparing for high-stakes engagements where Ogryn forces play a crucial role. Inquisitorial archives contain classified reports of warp-touched Ogryns exhibiting unusual abilities without succumbing to chaos corruption. These rare individuals reportedly demonstrate brief bursts of tactical genius or prescience in combat situations. The phenomenon's resistance to chaos taint has sparked debate over whether the Ogryn's simplified psyche offers some form of protection against warp influence, or if these are manifestations of latent psychic potential. The existence of Ogryn populations on worlds with no records of human colonization presents an ongoing archaeological mystery. Explorator fleets occasionally discover these isolated communities on planets that, according to Imperial records, should be uninhabited. These findings raise questions about unrecorded human expansion during the Dark Age of technology, or even the possibility of convergent evolution on multiple worlds. Rumors circulate of a specialized Ogryn unit within the Officio Assassinorum. Dubbed the Gentle Giants by those who whisper of their existence, these operatives allegedly undergo extensive surgical and hypno-indoctrination procedures to serve as deep cover agents. Their seeming simplicity and physical impressiveness allow them to infiltrate positions close to high-value targets. The Officio Assassinorum neither confirms nor denies these claims. The phenomenon known as Ogryn battle cant confounds Imperial linguists. In the heat of combat, some Ogryn units have been observed communicating complex tactical information through what appears to be a crude, guttural language. Attempts to decipher or replicate this communication outside of battle conditions have uniformly failed, leading to speculation about latent cognitive abilities activated by combat stress. Scattered throughout the Imperium are reports of Ogryn individuals spontaneously manifesting savant-like calculation abilities. These math-magicians, as they're colloquially known, can perform complex mathematical operations far beyond their normal cognitive capabilities. The phenomenon appears temporary and unpredictable, with affected Ogryns unable to replicate the feat under controlled conditions. Theories range from brief activations of dormant neural pathways to unconscious tapping into the warp's infinite knowledge. The Tau Empire's early encounters with Ogryn forces led to the development of the Gentle Giant Protocol. This mysterious initiative, hinted at in intercepted Tau communications, appears to be an attempt to subvert Ogryn loyalty through non-violent means. Imperial counterintelligence has yet to determine the protocol's exact nature or its rate of success, though several Ogryn units have been preemptively mind-scrubbed as a precautionary measure. Artificer circles whisper of the Ogryn's paradox, a peculiar phenomenon observed in certain master-crafted weapons. When wielded by Ogryn hands, these arms sometimes display capabilities far beyond their design specifications. Attempts to replicate or study this effect in controlled environments invariably fail, leading some to speculate on a possible psychic component to Ogryn strength that interacts unpredictably with spiritually attuned weaponry. The concept of Ogryn time dilation perplexes Imperial scholars. Multiple after-action reports describe situations where Ogryn units accomplished objectives in time frames seemingly impossible given their cognitive limitations. These accounts often involve complex tasks completed with the efficiency that belies the Ogryns' usual slow mental processes. Some theorize this might be an extreme form of combat-induced hyperfocus, while others propose more esoteric explanations involving localized warping of temporal physics. Classified inquisitorial files reference Project Overwatch, a secretive initiative aimed at creating Ogryn operatives capable of identifying and neutralizing shape-shifting Xenos threats. The project's methodology and current status remain unknown, but unsubstantiated reports of Ogryns detecting Genestealer infiltrators long before standard screening procedures have piqued the interest of Ordo Xenos agents. The phenomenon of echo-empathy among Ogryn populations continues to baffle Imperial psychers. In certain combat situations, Ogryn units have displayed a level of coordination and shared awareness that suggests a low-level psychic bond. Unlike the synapse control of tyrannid organisms, this effect appears unconscious and benign. Some theorize it may be an emergent property of the Ogryns' simplified but intensely loyal mindset, amplified by the stresses of battle. Rumors persist of a breakaway faction of tech priests dedicated to unlocking the supposed alpha strain of Ogryn genetics. This hypothetical pure bloodline, allegedly derived from the original colonists of high-gravity worlds, is believed to hold the key to creating Ogryns with vastly enhanced cognitive abilities without sacrificing their physical prowess. The Adeptus Mechanicus officially denies the existence of such research, denouncing it as tech heresy. The recurring appearance of elaborate void suit-clad Ogryn figures in the feverish ravings of warp-addled psychers has drawn the attention of Ordo Malleus investigators. These descriptions, consistent across vast distances of space and time, speak of massive, silent guardians standing vigil at the edges of reality. Whether these visions represent some hidden truth or merely shared delusions remains a topic of fierce debate among those aware of the phenomenon. The saga of the Ogryn stands as a testament to humanity's adaptability and the Imperium's pragmatic approach to survival. These Abhumans, born from the crucible of harsh environments, have carved out a unique niche in the galaxy-spanning empire of mankind. Their journey from isolated evolutionary offshoots to integral components of the Imperial war machine reflects the complex interplay of necessity, prejudice, and potential that defines much of the Imperium's approach to its diverse subjects. As the threats facing humanity continue to evolve, so too does the role of the Ogryn. The rise of new and terrifying Xenos species pushes Imperial strategists to leverage Ogryn capabilities in increasingly innovative ways. Experimental programs seek to enhance Ogryn resistance to psychic influence, turning them into living bulwarks against the mind-bending horrors of the tyrannid hive mind and the corrupt whispers of chaos. The Adeptus Mechanicus's ongoing research into Ogryn physiology yields unexpected dividends. Insights gained from studying their enhanced musculature and robust organ systems find applications in the development of new generations of augmetics and life support systems. Some tech priests even speculate that Ogryn biology might hold the key to improved adaptation protocols for colonizing extreme environments, potentially opening up previously uninhabitable worlds for Imperial expansion. Cultural shifts within the Imperium, though glacially slow, begin to reflect the growing appreciation for Ogryn contributions. While prejudice remains widespread, pockets of Imperial society embrace a more nuanced view of these Abhumans. Ogryn characters start appearing in popular entertainment, no longer merely as comic relief, but as loyal heroes in their own right. Some Imperial scholars argue that this represents a broader trend towards redefining the concept of humanity in an age of ever-present alien threats. The question of Ogryn rights and self-determination simmers beneath the surface of Imperial politics. As more Ogryn achieve positions of relative authority through the Bonehead program, voices calling for greater abhuman representation in imperial governance grow louder. While still a fringe movement, it hints at potential future conflicts as the Imperium grapples with balancing unity and diversity in its quest for survival. Efforts to reintegrate lost Ogryn populations take on new significance as the Imperium pushes into regions cut off by warp storms or Xenos incursions. These rediscovered communities, having developed in isolation for centuries or millennia, present both opportunities and challenges. Some exhibit unique adaptations or cultural practices that could benefit the broader Imperium, while others have diverged to a point where their loyalties are questionable. The ecclesiarchy continues to refine its approach to Ogryn spirituality, recognizing the power of their simple but unwavering faith. New religious orders emerge, dedicated to harnessing and directing Ogryn devotion. Some view this as a cynical exploitation of abhuman loyalty, while others argue it represents a purer, less corrupted form of imperial faith. Inquisitorial interest in Ogryn's psychic resistance intensifies as the threats from the warp grow ever more insidious. Theories circulate that the Ogryn's simplified mental processes might offer a form of protection against certain types of demonic possession or psychic manipulation. This leads to ethically questionable experiments aimed at replicating this resistance in baseline humans, sparking fierce debates within inquisitorial circles. The development of new Ogryn-compatible technologies opens up fresh tactical possibilities on the battlefield. Experimental powered armor suits, designed to amplify Ogryn's strength while compensating for their limited dexterity, begin field trials. If successful, these could transform Ogryn units from mere shock troops into mobile heavy weapons platforms capable of rivaling Space Marine Terminators in certain combat roles. As the Imperium's understanding of genetics advances, questions arise about the long-term future of the Ogryn subspecies. Some advocate for programs to uplift Ogryns through selective breeding and genetic modification, arguing that their loyalty and physical prowess combined with enhanced intelligence could create the perfect imperial servants. Others caution that such meddling risks destroying the very traits that make Ogryns valuable. The discovery of ancient terraforming technologies on several Ogryn home worlds hints at a deeper mystery surrounding their origins. Evidence suggests that the harsh conditions which shaped Ogryn evolution may not have been entirely natural, but the result of deliberate engineering dating back to the Dark Age of technology. This raises profound questions about the nature of human adaptation and the foresight of humanity's ancestors. Ogryn interactions with various Xeno species continue to yield surprising results. Their straightforward nature and impressive physiques earn them a measure of respect even among enemies of the Imperium. Reports of orcs seeking out Ogryn opponents for proper scraps become more common, while the Eldar view them with a mix of pity and fascination, seeing in Ogryns a reflection of humanity's potential and limitations. The role of Ogryns in void warfare evolves as naval strategists recognize their value in boarding actions and ship-to-ship combat. Specialized void-hardened Ogryn units become prized assets in fleet engagements, their ability to withstand depressurization and operate in zero-gravity environments, making them ideal for assaulting enemy vessels. As the Imperium faces ever-growing threats, the loyalty and strength of the Ogryn become more crucial than ever. Yet this increased reliance raises ethical questions about the exploitation of a subspecies with limited ability to comprehend their place in the grand scheme of galactic conflict. The tension between pragmatic necessity and moral considerations mirrors larger debates about the nature of the Imperium itself. The future of the Ogryn remains as uncertain as that of the Imperium they serve. As humanity stands on the brink of annihilation, facing threats from without and within, the simple dedication of these abhuman giants may prove to be one of its greatest assets. Whether viewed as loyal subjects, useful tools, or something in between, the Ogryn have become an indelible part of mankind's struggle for survival in a hostile universe. In the end, the story of the Ogryn is one of adaptation, loyalty, and the complex interplay between different facets of humanity. As the Imperium forges ahead into an uncertain future, the Ogryn march alongside, their massive footsteps echoing through the corridors of history, a testament to humanity's resilience and the enduring power of unwavering faith in the face of cosmic horror.